Welcome to this episode of Upcycling with Deb. In this podcast, we explore ways to take what you've got and make it better. I'm your host, Deb Colameta. I can be reached on Instagram and Twitter at Deb Colameta, or you can find me on my website, thedebsite.com. Everyone loves that. I wrote a #1 best-selling book called Best Offer, Best Life, and you can check that out through Amazon or through my website, and I teach graduate students at Northeastern University. I'm thrilled to have my guests from Simply Fit and Fun, Stefanie Sweeney and
Hello.
Danielle Ampolos.
Hi.
Great. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
So there's two questions that I get asked very frequently. Number one is, how do you speak in front of people at workshops and in front of crowds without getting nervous? So I actually just recorded a podcast about that, so check that out. But the other question I get is when people either see me after a long time or hear about my journey over the past few years, they ask, oh my gosh, you lost well over 30 pounds. How did you do it? And you are listening to and looking at the two people who are responsible for getting me on track with incredible weight loss and fitness overall. So it's my honor to be here with you today.
Oh, thank you.
So sweet.
Likewise.
Thank you. And I just had a class this morning. I did a Zumba class with Danielle.
It's really fun.
Signed up for another one tomorrow.
Yay.
Love it.
So talk a little bit about, there's a lot of plans out there, eating plans that focus on calorie counting, but you look at it through a different lens. Mm-hmm. You taught me how to look more at the sugars in the foods and clean eating rather than just the calories. Can you tell me a little bit about what are some of the benefits to reducing or eliminating the sugars in your diet?
We basically really feel that it's important to feel your best. If you feel your best, you're going to want to live a healthier life. So we thought, a lot of the trends, like you said, focus on calorie counting or counting your macros or tracking other things. And we just thought, let's just kind of take it back to basics and eat clean. And so what does that mean? That means just eating foods that come from the earth, things that are not processed. So in doing so, you're going to automatically kind of eliminate a lot of those processed sugars or added sugars, and you will find that your energy skyrockets. Your body just feels better. You don't feel as lethargic. You just feel like you're more alive. And when that happens, then you automatically are just more inclined to kind of want to work out or drink more water or eat healthier foods. You'll find that you are not craving those processed foods as much. And then it's just kind of this wonderful cycle that kind of, as you know, kind of goes from there, and you don't want to stop. So we just thought, let's keep it really simple, keep it basic. We will not ask people to track their calories or anything like that. We'll just have them really examine what they're putting into their bodies and ask, is this the best thing for my body? And if not, what can I eat instead?
I love that you focus on not the number on the scale, but how you feel. And then the number will follow eventually.
Exactly.
I think what's cool about the program too is it's community driven. So as much as you are internalizing it, and it's about you, and that's what we want as the end goal, you're in this with other people. So there's that challenge aspect, which is that, if they're going to go to the gym, I'm going to go to the gym. If I'm going to eat this good meal, I'm going to do it too. And I think what's nice about that is because it's this simplistic program, it's achievable. So you find yourself being like, wow, that was week 1. And now I'm on to week 2. And, we run these so often for that reason. And you just start this long-term journey. And it's like, it's fun. It's as cheesy as it sounds. It is. Yeah. Your family can do it. You can do it on a busy schedule. We help you. You get these tools. And it's just so simple to look back and say, like you said, it's just go back to basics, just eat healthy. And when you have to put that little bit of education in, that's where people get scared because it's like, oh, I have to put that work in. But once you do it, it's really simple. And we celebrate people like you because you take it, you champion it, and you spread that kind of good word about it, and then other people, and you just help prove that like anyone can do it. You don't have to be afraid of it.
Right. Well, that's one thing that really helped me. I had been doing other things, as you know, I had signed up with like a national plan, and, that worked to a certain extent, but I had plateaued. And you taught me about looking at the makeup of what I was eating and the type of fitness I was doing, and getting more into a routine and consistency. But the thing that you were offering through these clean eating challenges and the groups was the accountability piece. And I think everyone can agree that you're more likely to achieve a goal when you have that accountability,
of course.
that cheerleading,
right?
With that community. Yeah. So, as you were saying, because you have another clean eating challenge coming up in a couple of weeks, you were saying in an introduction video that I was watching that when people post, hey, I did this for exercise, it makes you think, what can I do? They've got 2 kids running around the background. I have 2 kids running around the background. If they can run a fitness empire right here, then I can do what I need to do, even if it's just walking around the block or, meeting people where they are and not expecting them to jump in, and start this revolutionary new thing. I remember I started slowly with you. It was just enough to be aware of the sugars, but then, like you said, I found it to be almost like a language that you learn over a quick period of time, and you learn to look at the sugars and what you're taking in. So that's been a very helpful thing for me, and it's something that's stuck with me. I took that weight off and I kept it off.
It's funny, you can chime in because we talk about this a lot, but one of the really cool things about it is just kind of letting go of those other expectations. I think that there's this stigma to diet, and we don't call it a diet. There's this stigma with like, it's my cheat meal. It's like we don't call things like that. It's mentally a shift. And if you can do that, if you can let go of all those things around you, you realize like, I can do it. And one of the things we always talk about in our intro videos or the first week of the challenge group is like, let go of that noise around you. You think about how many times people are like, oh, you're going to try that. It's like, don't diminish that, celebrate it, help me get through it. And I think that whether you have that cheerleading support around you, like it seems like your family is like 100% Team Deb, right? But not everyone has that. So it's if you have that, great. If you don't, you have this community around you saying, no, you've got that. Don't stop that. So it's this really cool thing, and it makes you just feel good. And when you feel good, you want to make choices that are good for you, and it just starts a big spiral. And we have been doing this for how long?
2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
We run these all the time. And every single time, there's some cool success story. It's awesome, it's great.
And at this point, we have coached literally hundreds of challengers, and we've seen so many different success stories, but in different ways, because everybody's goals are different and everybody is coming from a different place, and everybody, like you said, has different circumstances. But we have seen so many success stories, so it's really cool for us to see that, because it's first of all reassuring to see that what we're doing is worthwhile, but just to see that you can make those changes if you're willing to.
And we have hardworking business travelers. We've got hardworking stay-at-home moms. We have people in between transitions in life. If they can do it, you can do it. Right. Everyone can do it. And that's what's really cool about it.
It's amazing. One thing that I've told you in the past is that I love that it brings structure to my life. For at least those 3 weeks that the challenges last, it puts me on a good track, and that extends into other areas of my life.
For
and
sure.
I have been very vocal about how the first time I did one of the clean eating challenges, I had to take the first week just to take it all in. But I thought, where can I dip my toe in the water?
Yes.
And so I started looking at the sugars. And, the second round that I did with you, the second 3 weeks, I said, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to work on a project in the evening, because that's when I tend to binge eat is in front of the television. So instead of sitting in front of the TV, I picked another project. And I organized photos from the past 2 years.
I remember
so
that.
I feel like I remember your journey from day one to now.
It's been so fun to follow.
Yeah. But it brings this organization to your life, so it really has those multiplicative effects.
Right, for sure.
And then you feel like, okay, I did that, check. Now I want more. So the next round you focus more on adding the exercise. And the next round you focus on, one of the rounds I actually finished writing the book.
Remember that? I remember
that.
Everyone was like, oh, I did my goal. I drank all my water and whatever. And you're like, and I wrote a book. Thanks, guys. You're like, you wrote a book? That's awesome.
Whoa, okay.
Way to step it up, Deb.
Yeah. But I was ready, like even the content of the book, where I was ready to shed the excess.
Right.
And the weight was almost symbolic of that, where you helped me see this new vision of myself. I'd kind of come to grips with, okay, I was just kind of a mom weight. I'd had 2 kids, and I had this extra 30, 40 pounds on me that I didn't want, and you helped me see myself again, so thank you for that. And you gave me that new vision, and it's that positivity, and I often talk about in the podcast how important it is to have that positive vision to work towards, instead of, like you say, don't think about weight loss. Think about what the end result is, that positivity. So I was able to find myself again through that, and I knew I didn't want to be like that. So I purged my house, and then I cleaned up my diet, my fitness. So that was through you.
And look at you now.
I know.
Thank you. There's no stopping.
It's awesome. I think what helps all of this too is like we celebrate those fun nights, which we call those reset nights. So it's like have a pizza. But not a whole pizza, a couple slices. But like, you don't have to be so strict. And like, it's always that example. What if we said like, you can never have cake again? What are you going to want?
Right.
You're going to want the cake, right? So it's like, that balance allows you to say like, well, you know what, I can have it, but maybe I just don't want it. And like when that shift happens, that's when you write a book and you purge your closet. It's like when you start to take control, you feel so good about it.
And I think the other thing too is that what I'm very proud about with the challenges that we've created is that we don't focus so much on the weight loss and it's not about that. And I think so many programs sometimes can focus on that, and that's, like I said before, that's not going to be everybody's goal. That's maybe not what everybody wants, and that can sometimes put you in an unhealthy place if you're just focusing on, I have to lose weight, I have to be skinny.
It gets sick,
It's not a good thing. We just want people to focus on being their healthiest version of themselves, and it's not going to be an overnight process, but it is a journey, and you've got to start somewhere. So just start, like you said, where you are.
Right. Well, I actually, because I knew we were doing this podcast today, I did a little bit of an experiment. I had a little bit of candy in the house from the kids, so I decided maybe I'd eat a couple of pieces, and I didn't need the reminder, but as soon as I ate the few pieces of candy, number one, after being away from sugar for so long, it actually didn't taste good to me.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I did eat 2 pieces, and because I wanted to convince myself that the second piece.
What did you have? What did you indulge in? Let us know. What did you have?
Well, I had like a Reese's cup and I think, it was like a Snickers bar, and I'm eating it, and I thought, not only are these smaller, but they don't taste the same.
Right. It doesn't have the same appeal as it once did.
I could stop myself.
Right.
Or, I've said to you before, being away from the sugar, the more, I think your body craves whatever you put in front of it too. So the more sugar you have, the more you want it, like an addiction.
And studies have shown that, the more processed sugar you have, the more you're going to automatically crave it. And so that you'll get to a point where you crave it so much that even something like watermelon, which is naturally so sweet, is not going to satisfy you. So I think you're at the other point, which is good.
Yes.
Where you don't need that processed sugar.
And I'm a cake person. I love a good piece of cake.
Yeah.
However, now it's too sweet. I mean, who am I?
Right.
I'm rejecting a second piece of cake. So
that's so funny.
Over time, it really, you like reprogram how you look at food and how it even tastes.
Right.
So very important.
It's really cool. It's really cool that, because some people think that they're stuck wherever they are, and they're, well, this is who I am. I love sweets. I'll never change. Or I love, chips and fries or what. And it's not true. You can make those changes, and you would be surprised at how your body responds to those changes.
Our biggest thing is when we can help somebody break through that, I don't want to call it like the door or whatever that kind of symbolic thing you want to say, but like breaking through that when you tell yourself who you are. So you had said, I'm a mama too, this is who I am.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be that.
Right.
But we can give you as many quotes and pictures and inspiration, but until you fully wake up that day and you're like, I'm gonna do it. I remember my day. when I was like, I'm going to do it. I was sitting on my couch feeling really sorry for myself. I was unhappy at my job, and all these life things happen, right? I mean, like, we'd be silly to be like, life is great, you can do it. It's like, no, life happens. Like, I was unhappy at my job. I was unhappy with my body. I wasn't feeling my best. And I'll never forget, my husband was like, just go to the gym. And I was like, oh, yeah, all right, yep, I'm gonna go. And like, but it was like, I was creating all of this narrative in my head, like, I can't fit into the jeans I like, and I can't do this, and I'm not happy with this, and it was so many no's and I can't, and then like, I just chose to go, and like, I just kept going.
Right.
And then it introduced me to so many things, and then I started teaching, and then I started getting involved, and then Steph and I started to like team teach, and then the clean eating happened. It's like, but you have to have that one day or that one moment, that breakthrough moment where you just have to like separate that and be like, I'm somebody and I'm gonna do it, you know, and not worry about it.
Do it for yourself.
For sure.
You know, not how you look or the number on the scale, but how you feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, tell me a little bit more about some of the classes that you offer.
So we offer a variety of classes. I feel like our bread and butter is our Zumba because
dance party.
Yep, we are all about the party, and like we said, we're all about how you feel. So if you feel like you're having a party and not working out, you know, why not? So we've got Zumba, we've got bar, we've got boot camp, we've got Sculpt, which is a mat class. It's fantastic. We love that.
Love it. One of my favorites.
Yes,
for sure.
absolutely. Yeah. We also offer yoga. We offer mommy and me classes. We have a lot.
We started doing specialty stuff too. So we're doing our best to like celebrate the community around us, because we do believe in that. So we'll pull in folks and have them do things here and there, and you know, we'll be like, I don't know if people like it. We'll make it a pop-up. We'll see if they like it. You know, so we have a lot to offer, which is cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a huge fan of the Zumba classes, and that's how I actually met Danielle, is through a Zumba class, and then we stayed in touch through social media, and then my moment of when I had to like come to the realization that I needed to move was that Danielle was almost getting ready to have her first daughter, and I thought, oh, if she can be doing Zumba and almost getting ready to have a baby, I can do it. That made it accessible to me. I have no excuse. Like, you removed that excuse, the excuse that I was making for myself. I think it's worth it for people to try a Zumba class with you, especially if I'm in it, because it's especially entertaining. And typically, I knock my glasses off my face.
You're dancing so hard.
At least once during the class. And it's great.
Party.
We don't care what you look like. I think we say it all the time. Just move. Just move. Like, our thing is, we are just today I sent Steph an audio text, and if anyone heard it today, they'd be like, this girl's crazy. And I was like, up since 4:30 with the kids, rushing out the door, like legit mom mode, right? But then I stepped through those doors, and like business Danielle comes on, and I was still feeling flustered in here, but like outside I was like, hey everybody, welcome to class. The minute the music starts, it's like, oh, what was I so stressed out about? I feel awesome. And like, if you can experience that with us, it's so cool. You know, it just makes you feel great.
And the thing that I always tell people, because, you know, a lot of times people, if you haven't tried Zumba, you are very skeptical, right? Because a lot of times people are like, well, I'm not a dancer, or I can't do this. And I always say to them, who cares what you look like? And I know that that's such a cliche thing to say, but, you know, it's so funny. We are, you know, we're grown adults. Why do we care what people think? You know, I mean, we really should be the ones that care, because we're the ones up there making the biggest fools of ourselves.
We wear a wig on Monday.
Right, exactly. We will show up in costume, you know, given the time of year. But really, isn't it funny how, you know, when you're young, you don't care at all. When you're a child, children don't care. They will dance in the middle of the street at any given point. As you get older, you get so apprehensive. And so I just say to people, just come. Who cares? Nobody's watching you. Nobody's going to judge. And I truly mean that. Nobody is going to judge you. And then when they come and they experience it even just once, they say, oh my gosh, you're right. that was awesome. That was the best. I feel so
Yeah.
good. So
And we're not doing these like crazy dance routines. It's
no,
like 2 steps
it's
repeating.
it's very attainable. I think you can probably agree it's attainable and easy, but you still get such a killer workout.
Just today, we were talking
yeah.
to that new student. I'll leave the name out. Fabulous lady. And she was saying, like, I said, I was so proud of you. This is like actually happened this morning. I said, I'm so proud of you. It's your 4th time coming. She goes, and she went from the back row to the middle to the front.
Creeping up.
Yes. And she's like, I'm just having a good time. Like, that's what matters most, you know? And like, that is what sprinkles into our clean eating and our classes and our little group. It's really cool. It's really great.
Well, and also it's changes like that. I mean, we give you the 45 minutes, the hour, and then I notice that on days when I do exercise with you, by noon, I've got my 10,000 steps for the day.
Yeah.
And, you know, that does make a big difference. We've talked about positivity and the importance of keeping people who are around you very positive and so forth, and really cutting out any kind of negativity. But when I'm in your classes, a lot of times, one of the reasons why I'm so clumsy is because my mind is focusing on ways I can grow my business or ways I can, you know, things I'm going to be doing creatively. I feel like if you do the same thing every day, you're going to get the same results. Yeah. And doing Zumba or dancing and these big moves is something that's totally not like my personality.
Right.
It's so outside my comfort zone in many ways that it almost shakes up my thought pattern and helps me to come up with new ideas, creative ideas. So, you know, where it's maybe something that I'm not as used to. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily have a dance party in my own house. I'm not very good at dancing.
You should try it. You should try it.
Except with my kids. But that's where you really shake it up mentally and you come up with new ideas. And you get empowered because you're like, wow, I did that. And I have been known to break out a few Zumba moves at dance parties, at weddings. And, you know, Ray will be like, was that a Zumba move? Just in there. So
actually,
that's great.
It was.
No, but that's wonderful. Like that makes me so happy. That's so cool.
One of the things that I also am very proud of with our classes is that, kind of like what you just said, it's not just about the physical workout, but it's such a mental release and an emotional release as well. I mean, we have had, like you said, we've had so many times as instructors where we get to the studio and we're super frazzled about whatever else is going on. You know, we both have 2 little kids or, you know, something like that. And then as soon as we start dancing, you're just like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. Yeah. And it's really amazing how a workout can do that for you.
Even in like sculpt, right? We have heavier weights. I'm like, I can do this, you know, and then you're taking out your aggression, if you will, in a different light, you know, and it's like every class gives you a different outlet. So we're always, no matter where anybody is in their fitness journey, whether you're with us or anywhere, right? We always promote variety because you can't, like you just said, you don't want to do the same thing every single day. You can, but the minute you switch it up, you know, it opens your mind, it changes your body, it changes the whole thing. And like, it doesn't matter to what extent. It's just try something new because you may think, I'm going to write a book or I'm going to try this today. And it all kind of comes together.
And it's in some ways, too, I find it to be almost like meditation, like a form of meditation, because I'm so focused on the steps that I'm trying to follow that it really forces me to forget everything else. Because if I daydream too much, I lose my footing, as we all know. So it like forces you. Whereas if I sat down and meditated like, you know, my mind starts racing, but I have to tune in. And that's where like the sweet spot is. So I just love it.
I agree.
And let's be honest, too. You can't be on your phone. I mean, you could, but it'd be very oddly looked upon. You know? So it's like for 50 minutes or so, you have to put all of that aside. And like, maybe things are spinning in your head, but you don't have to be on social media. You can't be checking your email. Like, you have to be present.
Wonderful, yeah.
And it's not too often in our society right now where you can do that without it being like, you didn't answer my call. It's like, I don't have to. But you could be like, I was at a class, sorry. Right. And so for that one little hour,
it's wonderful.
It's
just like your little escape.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. So tell me a little bit about what you see as trends in the fitness industry.
So the fitness industry is an industry that is constantly changing, as we know. Yes. But what we see as kind of the biggest thing is things are becoming more streamlined for people to do at home. So at-home workouts, virtual workouts. because everybody is leading busy lives nowadays. You've got people that work from home. You've got, people that are choosing to stay home with their children, or people that travel and therefore are, like either at home or in a hotel or whatever. So you need those workouts that are accessible no matter where you are or who you are. So we actually have kind of been really listening to our clients, and over the last year we've worked really hard, and we actually just debuted, as you know, Deb, our Simply Streaming, which is our virtual workout experience. So that has been really amazing because we have gained clients from all over the world,
Right.
And we have people working out with us from different states, different countries, and they're getting the same quality of workout that they would in the studio with us, but they're just doing it from the comfort of their device, I guess you would say.
Yes, right.
Their cozy device.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a great way for us to celebrate and share that idea of like, you can do it. Don't quit. There's no excuse when it's on your phone. If someone's like, I don't have time, it's like, well, we make a 10-minute one.
Right.
So it's like, you're making dinner, you can do this calf workout. So it's us helping people. And the one thing, so when Steph and I, we both taught individually, and we knew each other well before that, and then we kind of decided like, we do the same kind of stuff, like why don't we start doing these together? And one of the only things that we have in common is this idea of like spreading this like joy of exercise and well-being and this health and wellness journey. And so we were like, we want to just kind of be there for everybody, and the Simply Streaming is a great way for it, because every month there's new workouts. Every month, the old workouts stay. It's constant. So we try really hard to see what's going on and how we can keep up with it. So there's music. It's us talking. It's not redundant. It's, and we ask people. So anyone that does our Simply Streaming will say, like, what do you want for, January, and we listen. So it's not this very regimented thing where it's constantly cardio. It's like we had yoga.
Huge variety, yep.
We had mommy and me. We had prenatal.
We have prenatal. Yep. We have dance. We've got different body parts. So, like you might get a 10-minute arm video or a 10-minute abdominal video. So it's really something for everyone. And
Picked
we
up
really,
pumpkins.
Yeah.
But we really do try to focus on everybody. So in doing so, we've got modifications, we've got challenges, you're feeling good, okay, like take it up a notch and let's do this instead. So we are very proud of them, and we think that they really truly are something that no matter where you are, you can grab your phone, grab your laptop, whatever, stream it through your TV and get a great workout in.
Well, excellent. That is the way of the future.
It really is. We're there.
We're trying.
It's crazy.
Well, I'm so proud of you for growing your business and for being amazing. And you are on this path to success, and no one deserves it more than you. No one works harder for it than you. So I'm thrilled that I got the chance to talk with you today, and that my listeners have gotten a chance to hear from you as well. Tell me, you've done so many exciting things just in the past, never mind this year, the past few months. What's next for Simply Fit and Fun?
I'd say for our nearest future would be just to continue to grow. We have a very similar dream, and we're just going to keep working towards it. And the biggest thing for us is to just take this beautiful community we have and just keep growing it without losing that heart. Yeah. So I think our biggest goal right now will be, how can we add more classes? Yeah. How can we keep building our virtual clientele? And how can we keep celebrating this clean eating that people like you are doing so well at?
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for being here today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'm just so happy to be here.
I know. I'm like, as we're talking, I'm like looking at this. I'm like, I'm just so proud of you.
I know.
I am.
Right back at you.
Oh man, that's great.
So give the website information. How can people get in touch with you, see your class listings, maybe sign up for a clean eating challenge? How do they get in touch with you?
So our website is www.simplyfitfun.com. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Simply Fit and Fun. We try to communicate pretty much daily through those two channels. And our email address is info@simplyfitfun.com.
And also, I will put it in the show notes for the podcast version as well.
Fancy. So fancy.
Full service here. If you go to my website, thedebsite.com. I think we're going to have a coupon perhaps for a discount class if you want to try it out. Thank you to the audience for giving us your most valuable asset, which is your time. Thank you very much to Danielle and to Stefanie for coming here today. And thank you to Stoneham TV for hosting us. My name, again, is Deb Colameta. You can reach me at Deb Colameta on Instagram and Twitter. Check out my book and come back next time for the next episode of Upcycling with Deb.